All right, y'all. So the LBGTQ community is calling for the cancellation of Snoop Dogg. So the community and their allies begin back in late 2025. The rapper made a controversial comment about the LBGTQ community representation of the 2022 film Lightyear. The controversy arose from the appearance of It's Given podcast, which reportedly censored his initial comment following the backlash. So let's go ahead and get into this video real quick. All right, make sure y'all smash that like button.
It and the lady, which is Kiki's mama, we watching it, and the lady, which is Kiki's mama, they move on to the spaceship, they move down the line, they're like, and she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie, like, Pop Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, shit. I didn't come in for this. I just came to watch the damn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. They just said she had a baby. They both women. How did she have a baby? Shh. The movie ain't over with. So it's like, I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of shit I don't have an answer for.
Now I feel like they using this situation to kind of bully Snoop because of the whole Trump situation, which I don't think is right because this is two separate issues. You know what I mean? Even though the LBGTQ community Hollywood version politicized everything. And I feel like, that's mainly Democrats, so I feel like they're using this issue to basically get back at Snoop. But I don't feel like Snoop said anything wrong in that. I mean, his innocent grandson asked the question that any innocent child would ask when they see something like that being presented in the film. Man, I don't think Snoop Dogg said anything out to speak out against LBGTQ community or gays. I mean, a lot of those people support Snoop Dogg, and they supported him from the very beginning of his career. So I don't feel like that he said anything wrong. All he said was he took his grandson to see it, and people, his grandson was asking questions, based off the fact that what was presented on the screen, two women having a baby. I don't feel like he was out of line by that, but some people from the LBGTQ community spoke out against Snoop Dogg and felt like that was a problem. So we're gonna get into T.S. Madison, as we know that's a trans uh a trans woman, that blogs as well, speaks, on celebrity issues and social issues and all that. So I wanted to get into um her response on this situation with about Snoop Dogg. So it's T.S. Madison slams Snoop Dogg after he says he was, scared of taking his grandson to see Lightyear over the same-sex couple. So let's go ahead and get into what T.S. Madison said about Snoop.
Down. Snoop Dogg has historically been an advocate against censoring, and his fame is based off expression. So my question is, Snoop, you have music videos with women dancing and kissing other women, dancing naked. So why is displaying lesbian behavior in your music videos appropriate, and you are afraid to answer the questions from your grandchildren?
So wait a minute. There's an answer to that, which is that the videos that he does for his music videos for adults, they're not
Yeah,
Lightyear
I think he would
for kids.
say that
They're not for
those
kids.
music videos aren't for kids.
I know that would be the setting and that would be the but as a person who understands how kids work, kids see everything.
no,
Kids see everything.
yeah, but when they're taking their children to something like a movie to see, that's supposed to be PG for children. Um, why is that being displayed for children? You can't use Snoop Dogg having same-sex women in his videos because his videos are not for children to watch. So it's up to the parent or whatever adult responsible for that child. So his grandson asking that, it's in an environment of where the film is for a child. He took his grandchild to see that. He's, he's controlling the situation. It's not like he's took the child and left the child off. Let the child sit there and watch the movie on his own, and he walked off somewhere and then let the child. You know what I mean? It was a controlled environment. So his grandchild asking that is it's a normal situation. So I don't understand why TS would have a problem with that.
They see
I don't get
music
it.
videos, they hear lyrics,
I don't get it.
they hear these things.
But TS, that's where parenting comes in, right? I mean, you're right. Kids, if you just let them, they can see everything. But
And I'm glad you said that's where parenting comes in, because as a parent, you should also explain to your children that other things exist in the world outside of what you have deemed normal in your own home.
let me ask you, because I'm
Yeah, but you can't tell a person how to raise their child neither. Like I said, Hollywood has a way of pushing that on the children, far as when it comes to presenting that in movies and literature of that nature. When it comes to children, like you said, it's up for the parent to decide whether they want their children to watch what's being presented or reading any literature that has that in it. The parents control that. So why is a person from outside of the home speaking on how a person is parenting their children when it comes to certain things like that? That don't make sense. He spoke only on about his grandchild and what his grandchild asked him. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, these
gay,
people's crazy.
and I get the points you're making, but at the same time, maybe at a certain
Them down.
All right, let me go forward to the next.
Them down. Snoop Dogg has historically been an advocate against censoring, and his fame is based off expression. So my question is, Snoop, you have music videos with women. Talk to your kids about having a little boyfriend or a little girlfriend at a certain age. I know that we've been conditioned to be able to understand heteronormative activity. We've been conditioned to that because that's all we see, because we've always, as queer people, been pushed to the side and swept under. So it is time for us to have these uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah, but we talking about children. We're not talking about adults. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, is that you can't push that on children. Yeah, I mean, that's a conversation for adults. That's not like, why would that's like sexualizing, like even when they wanted to talk about sex ed, you know, at certain levels and grades in the school. It's like, damn, why y'all gotta sexualize everything when it comes to children? Man, let these children be children, man. And then later on, as they get older and they start to ask questions, then you kind of like, break it down. Like with Snoop, I mean, maybe that's a conversation Snoop could have had with his grandson behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I know he's a public figure, so they would want everything to be publicized when it comes to people like him, because they want to use that as, you know, the political agenda as far as with the LBGT community. Listen, I don't have nothing against adults being gay or whatever they want to do in life. We're talking about, you know, children. That's what we're talking about. So,
I took my
yeah, I mean, all right, so let me switch over, because I mean you have some people from the LGBT community that kind of back Snoop on what went on. So I'm gonna switch over to the comedian Flame Monroe. Yeah, I mean spoke out on Snoop's behalf. So not everybody, this is kind of like a mixed feelings thing. Like, you know what I mean? You got some people from the LBGT community that feel some type of way, but you got other people that had, that has a certain level of understanding. You know what I mean? So I can respect Flame Monroe, so let's get into this.
Hello, this is comedian Flame Monroe, And in response to the whole Snoop Dogg debacle about him taking his grandchildren to the movies to see a cartoon, children should be allowed to be children for as long as they can. So many people are speaking on what you should do with a child or what you shouldn't do with a child when you don't even have children. So you will never understand the level of love that you have for your kid. And what we want to do as parents, and I'm only speaking to the parents, if you don't have a child, shut the hell up. If you don't have a child, you will never understand. What we try to do with our children is allow them to be children for as long as possible. The world will grow them up quick. The internet will grow them up
I
even
agree.
quicker. But what you do is teach your children right from wrong and allow them to do just what the Bible says. Teach a child in the way it should grow, and it'll grow up and come back to you. We want our children to be children. When has it become not safe to go to the movies with your child, but that you have to explain the birds and the bees to a 6-year-old at the damn cartoons? This is Flame Monroe. Peace.
Yeah, 6 years old. That's what I'm saying. And that's why how I felt about, they wanted to, do a sex education with children at that age and all that in the school system. I'm like, nah, y'all bugging out. Y'all bugging out with this. Like, it's getting crucial out here. It's getting more crucial out here. And I understand, you know, that some people have some political agendas when it comes to you know as far as with the LBGT community, because that's not all gays. The all gays doesn't have the same mindset that certain you know political gays have. Like the regular day-to-day gay person doesn't think like the Hollywood or the political gay person is. They don't they don't have that mindset like they have. So they not trying to push it on everybody, not trying to push their lifestyle on everybody or none of that. They just live their life the way it is, and you know and that's just the way it is. So yeah, I just wanted to tap in this a little bit. I don't want to get too more deep into it, but I wanted to tap in. I felt like this was a situation that was worth being spoken on, because you know we talking about children. Like, what adults can do whatever they want. Like, but when he mentioned about his grandchild, 6-year-old grandchild asking that question, you know what I mean? Like, why is that in a movie? I mean, the movie basically was like, predicted that in the future that, what I mean, women kissing, having children, in the future and all that. So I see what they're doing. They're they trying to prepare for generations ahead with movies like this. Like, how they do when they plant that seed, and then further down the line, years down the line, yeah, I mean, you start to see generations accepting more things of that nature. So I mean, I just wanted to give it there, man. But matter, I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace.
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightandayherbals.com.